Hello, my name is Stevie Martin with the Avaya Serviceability Engineering Team. This video is about creating users for the Avaya Agile Communication Environment and why we need them. Currently, ACE does not interact with Active Directory, so we need to add users manually. If you have a large number of editions, there are tools available to Avaya users for bulk editions, but they are not formally supported at this time, and you will need to contact your Avaya representative. You need to add users for desktop communication enablement, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Communicator, Microsoft Link, and IBM Same Time. Please refer to the ACE administrative guide for any other required uses for the users. Before you add users to the Agile Communication Environment, you need to understand what the global security settings are. These are found under Security and Global Security Settings. Once you're in this window, you want to select the Password Policy tab. Several things you want to note in here. The password expire period. In this case, it's set to 0 days. It means the passwords have no expiration limits. If you set, say, 30 days for passwords to expire in this system, you can also set up a notification to warn people when they log in under the password expiration notification. You can also set your password rules here, such as minimum password length, the minimum number of alphanumeric characters, the number of different characters and special characters, and also if a mix of upper and lowercase characters are required. For your permitted special characters, it defaults to a series of characters, but you can go here and customize this any way you want. And one other minor item to note, you can also specify a certain type of passwords that can't be used under the invalid password section. Once you've verified the global security settings for your ACE environment, you want to start adding new users. You create your new user by going to Security, User Management, Create User. When you come into the User Information screen, you default to the User tab, and this is where the new ID is entered. You have the user ID, the account state, which can be enabled or disabled, with enabled indicating this is an active user, and your password. One other thing you can set on this initial screen is that the user must change their password on their first login. This allows the user to change the password to one they can more easily remember. Select Submit to save your new user. Once you've created a user, you can edit them in one of two ways. From the initial screen, after you've submitted the new user, you can select Edit User, or you can go up to Security, User Management, List Edit Users. There are two ways you can find your users. You can search by all users, just click Submit, and every user in that environment will be shown in a table. You select the user you want to edit and edit them. The other way is to search specific user strings. You have several options you can choose from: user ID, surname, given name. At this time, for a new user, we can only search on user ID as additional information has not been entered. Note that you can use wildcard with the search to broaden the range of the users that you want to look for. From the list of users that come up, you select the one you wish to edit. Once you've clicked on the user, you'll come into the user information screen for that specific user, defaulting to the user tab. And the areas you have to change is the personal data. In this screen, you should give the surname and given name at a minimum to identify that user. You can also identify in this screen the contact information for a user. You select chat if they're going to be doing IBM Same Time. You specify their desk phone, their cell. We'll enter some here to show you an example. If the user interacts with IBM Same Time, you would add the contact information chat. You'd have to give it a contact name. You also have to enter a contact identifier. All the contact identifiers and their formats are outlined in the ACE administration guide. Please refer to that document if you got any specific questions for any contact identifier. As this is Same Time, we'll be using the contact identifier ST. You must also specify a priority. In the priority field, you will enter a number between 0 and 1, where 0 is the lowest priority and 1 is the highest. You'd save this contact information. Another entry you may want to enter is the telephone. When setting up the telephone in the contact information, one thing you want to note is the contact name. If you want that telephone to show up as a default device when you click the call applications, we use the name Desk Phone. Desk Phone will always be the default device for your web browser and Outlook plugins. For telephone, your contact identifier is TEL. And as with any other contact, you should set your priority. If this is going to be your default desktop, you probably should set it the highest. You can also select the default CLI for whichever contact information you wish. We'll add one more telephone as an example to show what everything looks like in the contact information screen. Once you've entered all your contact information, you can see the information at the bottom of the personal information screen. You can also edit these individually if you so desire. The remaining information of importance in the Edit User screen is the organizational data. In this screen, you can enter basic information about the organization the user belongs to. Preferences, you can set the time zone that the user lives and or works in. And you have your user group membership. When creating this user, we described the users using the desktop communication enablement applications in same time. If the user wants to use these applications and the features available to them, they will have to be assigned to the groups for them application. So for this user, DCE standard, same time, and if we want that user to have the capability to create and install the files for the web browser and Microsoft Outlook, we'd give them the authorization DCE group. Once you've added the groups you want, you would scroll down and select Submit. The last tab in the user screen is the account policy. This screen just sets some basic parameters for the user, such as the amount of time of inactivity before they log them out, the maximum login attempts before they lock the user out, and in this one you can override the password expiration period. For any additional information on account policy or any other tabs in this Edit User screen, please refer to the Avaya Agile Communication Environment Administration Guide. Thank you for your time today. We hope this information was useful to you. We welcome comments, questions, and feedback at mentor@avaya.com or on Twitter @AvayaMentor. Thank you for choosing Avaya.